Don't you just wish you could wake up tomorrow with $1 million? If not a million, think of the number that you would want to have for you to consider yourself rich. Have you thought of that number? Then what if I told you one day you could wake up with that figure? The reality is that most self-made rich people have put in a lot of work before they were able to see a huge financial increase in their lives. You are not much different from these rich people. The only thing that separates you right now is that you do not yet know how to properly manage your finances to make them work for you. However, once you have figured it out, the next step of becoming rich is a given. You may say that you have a low income, and so it's impossible for you, but anything is possible with hard work, vision, and determination. So if you want to get rich while having a low income, then this video is for you. But before we get into the essential steps to becoming rich on a low income, don't forget to like and subscribe. Number 6, set your goal. Rich people are go-getters and goal setters. The journey towards becoming rich is not an overnight process except for very few. This means that it will take some time before you can consider yourself rich. Therefore, you will need to first set a goal. This goal helps you understand what you are working towards and will be your point of focus when things get difficult and your efforts feel futile. It is perfectly normal to feel this way. You should expect to feel this way because if you are not, it is possible you are not working hard enough towards your goal. If you don't know where you are headed, it will be impossible to get there. This will give you the motivation to do what you need to do to become successful. It would also be in your best interest to understand that you are in it for the long haul. You want to get rich and not get rich quickly. This might also help you avoid the distractions and gimmicks of others that promise millions of dollars overnight. This is about your lifestyle and changing how you are used to dealing with money and understanding that changing your behavior will work in your favor to help you achieve your goal of getting rich. Number 5, budget first. Yes, even millionaires still budget, so that means it certainly won't hurt for you to do the same. The first thing to understand about getting rich is that you are now committing to living your life with intention. Every purchase and every transaction has a larger purpose behind it. Every decision you make can either set you back from your goal or help you bring you closer to it. With this understanding, you might see why it is important to the first budget. The amount of money you make at this point is not as important without a budget. Think about it. If you were making 3 times the salary but still not budgeting, you might run into the same problems. And in some years, you might wonder how you are making so much money, but you are still not rich. The foundation to becoming rich is supported by a budget. You have to take stock of what is going in and coming out. The decisions you might make look very different when finally written down. Your budget is how you hold yourself financially accountable. It also acts as a guide for how you can spend within the limitations of your low salary. There are many apps that you can download for free that will help you to budget better and more effectively. One thing to remember is you must ensure you spend less than you earn. As you have a very limited supply of income, your budget will force you to plan how to spend money each month. Try to have a clear idea of your real income, fixed payments such as insurance, or rent versus variable such as entertainment. A good idea would be to cut down on variable expenses, so it means you may have to skip the next event you were planning to go to. Then once you have started to reduce expenses, you can think about saving. Number 4, save, save, save. If you don't think saving was important before, then I am here to tell you it certainly is now. If you want to live like the rich do, then it's better to start saving as soon as you can. If this has been a hard habit to develop, try to automate your saving so it will be an easier habit to get used to. Saving, however, is not just about putting money aside for a rainy day. It also means cutting down on expenses where you can. For instance, you can easily save on food by cooking at home instead of ordering takeout. Eventually, you will see a difference in how much you are saving by trying to cook at home. You can also save on transport by carpooling, biking, taking the bus, or walking, depending on where you want to go. You will need to take a holistic approach towards saving, considering every aspect of your life and how you could live differently to help save a few extra dollars. Do you find it difficult or easy to save? Let us know in the comments below. Number 3, pay off your debts. If there is one thing standing in your way of becoming rich while having a low income, it is debt. The rich don't waste their money on high interest rates because it prevents them from building the wealth they want to build. One of the secrets the rich have in how they were able to build their wealth from nothing is that they have no debt or have managed to clear them off eventually. Before you can make a significant contribution to your savings regularly, you have to be in the black first by getting your debts out of the way. When you let your debt pile up, this has long-term consequences like negatively affecting your credit score and ensuring you are indebted for longer due to high interest rates. The first step is to start the snowball method, which involves dealing with the smallest debts first. Once you have consistently made payments towards them until they are completely paid off, your next step would be to take the money you were putting towards the payments for the smallest debt and transfer them to the next smallest debt that you owe. This is a continuous process that will eventually result in you paying off all debts. Once you keep the momentum of rolling payments from one debt to the next as you pay off one at a time, the amount snowballs and increases as the rate of debt decreases at a faster pace. To get started on this method, simply make a list of debts owed organized according to amounts, due dates, and minimum payments, and order from smallest to largest. Then, try to see how much you can pay towards the smallest debt first. Once the smallest has been paid off, take the money you would have normally paid, along with a little extra if you can, and roll this over to the next debt owed. A huge advantage is that throughout the process, each small debt you pay off should motivate you to attack the next one. By the end of this process, you should feel encouraged to avoid slipping back into debt, and you will value your debt-free life and be able to have a little more stress-free like the rich do. Number 2, multiple streams of income. Ever heard of the phrase, "don't put your eggs all in one basket"? Most people assume self-made millionaires became that way by relying on one great idea or business venture. However, the reality is that more than 75% of self-made millionaires have relied on having multiple streams of income to become successful. Working on a low salary doesn't mean you cannot also have alternative streams of income. Even if you have a low income right now, take a step back and try to think, instead of changing your job right now, about how you can supplement your income to take some of the pressure off relying on a single income to cover all your expenses and savings. Be kind to yourself and understand that any self-made rich person has had a low-paying job at one point or another, but somehow they made it work for them. They used it as an opportunity to exercise their entrepreneurial skills, take up a second job that was worth their time, or find a way to generate passive income. Once you have started seeking out other streams of income and see returns, this means you will not be as reliant on your main job, and you will not be negatively affected if one stream is affected or stops for some reason. You are now bulletproofing yourself from other factors and minimizing the effect that it will have on you. Being able to supplement your income is key. Some of the rich, like serial business moguls, will tell you that you simply cannot get rich without considering multiple streams of income. Number 1, no to negativity. Researcher Thomas Corley said, "When you allow negativity to rule your thoughts, you are programming your brain for failure." Some experts say negative emotions help rule our fiscal behavior more than you might realize. The reason for this is because negative emotions signal to the brain that something needs to be attended to urgently, whereas positive emotions do not have the same effect on the brain. Many money-sabotaging emotions might be taking you over every day without actually realizing it. The truth is, we are all human, and so there is no way to get rid of emotions. Instead, you must now understand your emotions and not allow them to rule your financial habits. Overcoming your emotions is key to getting that much closer to becoming rich on a low salary. One emotion that may have experienced is jealousy. If you are bothered that your friend got a cool new gadget and you don't have one, and you are now ignoring your real priorities and focusing on trying to maintain an image by getting the same gadget, you might not only self-sabotage your budget, but also your prospects of ever being the one in charge of your finances. Instead, if there is something you do want, try to first establish if it is worth getting and make a plan for how you will get it. Another suggestion is to try to note what you can be grateful for that you already have in your life, and it will allow you to appreciate these smaller things, instead of thinking you have to match up with others constantly. Maybe you might be more familiar with regret. Have you ever made a really bad decision financially and you are still mad at yourself over it? This feeling of regret may be keeping you from moving forward. You might think, I didn't start a savings fund and now it's too late to do anything. But this attitude will prevent you from making a difference right now. Instead, try to use the opportunity to learn and grow as a person. Make regret a signal for a change instead of one in action for fear of making the same mistake twice. The important thing is to forgive yourself, as feeling remorseful can help people to avoid the same negative consequences and help them to gain perspective on how they can make better decisions. Whether your emotions involve guilt, jealousy, sadness, or even anxiety, any negative emotion can prevent you from properly managing your money to become rich. The best thing to do is understand where your emotions are coming from, try to deal with them healthily, and not let them crowd your judgment when it comes to your finances. So, there you have it, 6 key steps to becoming a self-made rich person while having a low income. The most important thing is to continuously follow these steps. With persistence, you will eventually notice the positive changes in your finances. What did you think of our video? Don't forget to like or leave a comment below and subscribe for more interesting videos like this. I will see you in the next one.